Hi, this is Regina with Simone B. Catering, and you're listening to the Hawk and Bel Podcast.
Hua? Anybody say no hua? This ain't the Army bill. Test 1 2 1 2.
How do you say it? Boo, school me. Maybe I deserve a spanking for that.
1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. My Army Navy was not for me. Air Force was just too easy. What I need was a little bit more. I need a life that is hardcore. Head bob, yo, head before they fill it up. I'm gonna feel this one.
Hawk and Bel Podcast.
Sometimes you gotta keep a straight face. Sometimes you gotta tell yourself that you lack faith. Sometimes you don't wanna be gracious. Sometimes just admit it, you've been mighty impatient. I'm trying to get myself together, dawg. Oh, I'm trying to shelter in this weather, dawg. Oh, seems like I've been lost for forever, dawg. Oh, I'm trying to piece it all together. I'm puzzled by the pieces and they measurements. Shouldn't it fall together like these words and these letters? I've been thinking I'm far too clever. Do I need to do better than just showing off my demeanor? Might pull out an umbrella cause they saying he rain forever. I'm trying to get myself together, dawg. Oh, I'm trying to shelter in this weather, dawg. Oh, seems like I've been lost for forever, dawg. Oh, I'm trying to piece it all together. Oh God, I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone, so gone, so gone. Oh God, I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone, so gone, so gone. Oh God, I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone, so gone, so gone. Oh God, I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone, so gone, so. Hear me out as I confess. A series of unfortunate events might turn me to a two-face like Harvey Dent. Can depend on the circumstances of my life. You know I gotta take my chances, cause life weighs you down when you least expect it. And strife comes around when you least expect it. When you're trying to get it right, others trying to correct it. As if they ever came that close to perfection. I just wanna fulfill my passion, I put it to action. Am I ready? It ain't even a question. I'd die for a cause, make the whole world pause. But at the end of the day, I don't need no applause. I just give it to you raw, couldn't dip it like a saw. I want to come to the numbers, I pursue my call. Man, that's why I got it all planned out. I just wanna stand out. But that ain't gon' happen if I never get the cracking up in any page in the plans now. It's in his hands, it's in his hands. Everyone's fate is in his hands. But making mistakes is a choice that you pick. When people my sanity, you understand. Or you don't wanna listen to this music cause you ashamed of living what is true. Art is just art, don't get it confused. Infuse a message and you'll try to refuse. Ain't no fire if no one like the fuse. My desire is for you to be you, cause I stay working on myself. Oh God, so help me. Oh God, I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone, so gone, so gone. Oh God, I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone, so gone, so gone. Oh God, I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone, so gone, so gone. Oh God, I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone, so gone, so gone. I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone, so gone, so gone. Oh God, I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone, so gone, so gone. Oh God, I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone, so gone, so gone. Oh God, I'm trying to find another way. I'm so gone.
Welcome back to the Hawk and Bel Podcast.
Okay.
Wanna see fast?
And why you looking at it like that? You looking at my reaction?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to the Hawk and Bel Podcast, production by 30 Parkwood. I am Hawk, and to my right, as per usual, we have...
Whoop, whoop, Bellarama.
A.K.A. Belafonte, A.K.A. Bel, stop playing. She's back in the building. It's another episode 13 or 14, something like that. I don't know the numbers because we do in between episodes, and when Bel's not here, I was told recently that people don't listen to the podcast when I'm by myself. So I hate everyone who has said that. And
thank you. We love it. We over here.
Indeed.
On the Bel team.
So we have a lot of topics and a lot of little side questions or side comments to go over. But I want to let's address something that is immediate. You sent me a text earlier this week.
I did.
Yeah, and we had a lot of I posted the gist of the text on social media, and there was a lot of commentary especially from the females. And I actually want to read the text out loud and kind of discuss your thought process when you wrote it. You wrote, for your future reference, because your time is so limited, please do not commit yourself to anything outside of time with family unless you have discussed it with me prior. So I feel like you trying to pull my card. Who are you as my wife to tell me what to do?
Oh, I was very hot. Very hot. And I think that text message actually was very cordial of me because I was livid. I was about to pick the phone up and let you know something. But, respecting you as the male and the male head of this household, you made a decision, executive decision, and I didn't necessarily have the drop back of that situation to really question too much at that point. So I just let it be, as well as I'm not going to make you choose between seeking God and or being with the family.
So I wasn't really going to bring up I guess the context of what was going on kind of matters. So what ended up happening, you and I was at a picnic, and directly after the picnic, this was on Memorial Day, I was asked to cover, because at our church we have prayer hours 3 times a day. One of the people...
21 days a week?
21.
21
How many days? Bel, how many days are in a week?
21 times a week, 7 days a week. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
21 prayer times.
There are
opportunities. As
21 opportunities to come in and pray for an hour, or however long you want to do it.
Yeah.
And the person that had the particular prayer hour at that time he was out of state. So I was asked to cover it, and I didn't call Bel to, because I only have 1 day off a week. So I didn't call Bel. And when the person asked me, I was like, in my mind and my thinking, well, Bel's probably asleep. It's only an hour. Boom. I'm gonna go cover it.
I didn't even make it home, y'all.
Yeah. And so there was there's a rolling story after that. But long story short, I didn't call Bel, to coordinate and make sure that happened. And so some of the comments that came back, Tiff, was she the first one to comment? If she was the first,
shout out to Tiff.
Shout out to Tiff. This is what Tiff said, and she doesn't know that you already do this. She was like, Hawk, you need to sync your calendar with her calendar in terms of the phones. But you was on that already.
Yeah, we've been had that. I just don't change it to family status all the time.
Well, I know I didn't, I knew that it was a possibility, but when I put stuff in my calendar, I didn't, until you showed me that there's a family, when I hit it on, so for me, it's home, family, and work. There's 3 different calendars of the same day. Well, for the listeners that don't know, if you have an iPhone, if you plug something in your iPhone calendar and you don't hit family, it won't pop up on both our phones. It'll only pop up on my phone. So that's what I was doing, even though I was seeing all of your alerts every time you put something on a family calendar.
Because I was setting it to family calendar. Right. Because I don't let you see the other ones because I actually do it for my billing, for my work purposes.
Yeah.
But I conscientiously do that to make sure that you know, or as a reminder for you to have, because, for example, say a dental appointment is coming up. I'm the one who made the dental appointment. You're not necessarily going to know or remember I'll communicate it to you, but in case I don't directly communicate it to you,
I can just check it.
That way, I've set an alert for you to have, as well as provided the information on there for you to have.
So you've already been on that, and then James, her husband, he hit up. He was like, "Yeah, Tiff did that for me," and I ended up talking to Tiff right before you had called me, like the day after, and she was like, James did the same thing where he was double booking the days and he was committing himself to different things. And she was like, brother, we got other stuff we got going on. And so it's just kind of like, this is the product of when you have 1-2 working parents, you have people who are running on separate schedules. This is part, like, ladies and gentlemen, there's so much that I just don't know until I start messing up, and then it's like, oh, okay. Part of communication.
Well, this is my thing. Forget a schedule. You have the day off that you typically would be working. That shouldn't even be a question. You're not scheduling anything else other than family, in my opinion.
Right.
Because how often do we have you in the evenings to share with? So even if we said we're not doing a thing, we're just going to sit at the table and stare at each other for the rest of the evening, then that's all we're going to be doing, if that's what it means for us to spend time as a family. And
I sarcastically, I say, who are you to tell me or text me and whatnot? Like I said,
I got that. I know you're not serious.
Yeah, and for our listeners, I was totally in the wrong, and I already apologized about that. And learn from my mistake, where you don't take the attitude that I'm just going to do. And Belle, she gave the accolades, I'm the man of the house and blah, blah, blah. However, when it comes to spending time with your family and prioritizing and make sure everything is in line, being a man of the house or being a leader has nothing to do with coordinating and making sure that you do check in. And it's just, one, it's a courtesy. Two, and again, in my case where my time is limited, I do, and that was something I did have problems with in the past, where it's like, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then my family gets like 10 minutes. And then I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then my family gets 5 minutes. And it just, if you allow it, and I'm talking about, it's not just, your church responsibilities or anything, but if you allow it, life responsibilities will consume you. If you literally, it's kind of like, for me, this is my analogy. I have a whole pie, a sweet potato pie in front of me. I can sit and eat a whole sweet potato pie. However, I have to commit myself saying, hey, I'm going to eat one slice, I'm going to push that pie away. When it comes to life responsibilities, I'm going to do this one thing, but all the rest of the stuff got to push away so that I can prioritize and bring this other part back. So when I text you back, okay, I couldn't even dare have an attitude behind it, because again, I messed up and I should have communicated, do that. And like I said, when the person asked me to do it, my first mind was to call my wife and be like, hey, yo, this is what's going on. Is everything cool? But like I said, just off the top, I was like, well, because you had just left the picnic. I was like, there's no way in the world that she's going to want to do something. She's hot. It was like 90 degrees outside. You're going to be tired, blah, blah, blah. So,
well, I had already committed to spending time with family.
Right. Yeah.
And I was with my family.
Yeah, go figure. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, and then she was with her I was gonna say your natural family. I still got foster care on mine. You was with your dad and stepmoms and brothers and sisters. And so when you text me, I was supposed to be with you all going to the movie theater, and here I am separating, isolating myself. So yeah, it was a bad situation all around.
My family put the pressure on, talking about, where's he at?
Skipping over the family. Well, today's episode we'll discuss what's wrong, what's the wrong way to approach a woman. We'll talk about bad first dates. And speaking of bad first dates, when we come back from break, we're going to listen to, and I have not listened to this voicemail yet. It's a voicemail from Chris. I ain't going to say his last name because I have no idea what he wrote. He sent me, I asked everyone to send me a message, talk about your first bad internet first date. I made it very specific because that's what I asked specifically, but I don't know what he put on there. I don't know what he understood. So we'll see if he follows the instruction, and we'll see what kind of story. It was 5 minutes long, so this is
good at stories there.
Yeah, he really is. He also has a YouTube page where he goes over. He's a big gamer. I think his name is Hadou Lee, Hadou space Lee, and he's really into. I call it Japanimation. Y'all, I don't know what they call it now. What's that? I'll edit this part.
Chris?
Not Chris from Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Chris from Fayetteville State.
Okay, no, that's why I was saying he has really good stories.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, not that Chris. We're talking
That's
about,
why I was like, oh, boy.
No, this is Chris at Fayetteville State. And we're gonna hear his story. We're gonna discuss, we'll keep the mics on as we listen to it, because like I said, we'll experience it for the first time. And then we'll talk about whatever else is on our hearts. It'll be more music, more conversation, and more fun. Stay locked in. Listen to the Hawk and Bell podcast on YouTube, productions of 30 Parkwood, and we'll be right back.
Don't click that mouse. We'll be right. Hawk and Bell podcast.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do it Nike ops though. Not gonna do it like I did it on the last go. It's been some time not trying to catch up to the past, yeah. Cause if I let it catch up, I might fall into a bad, yeah. That's why I'm in my bag, yeah. Not eating on a fast, yeah. Hands to the heavens when we meet to overcast, yeah. I'm not gonna fail, no, not even gonna let you down. I'm not gonna fall, no, and even if I do, I got a prop that will keep me on the solid ground. And I got your back when I get there. Marshland, I won't let you step there. See, I'm a stepchild, no elevator. Adjusting a few screws loose in the regulator. None uncollected or missing antisocial. So when the family picks the popular mama, the moment is golden patrol of the need of a savior. People we greater who can keep us together forever, for better or worse. Reverse on the curse, blessing the steps, lessons I stress. Reckon what's next, professional tests. And I'm not gonna fail nor give it all up. Let me see you heal while I'm touring on a tour bus. I should keep it going, but I gotta hit the chorus. I be looking in the sea, yeah. I be thinking hard like, who will it be, yeah? Who will it be, yeah? Looking in the sea, yeah. I be praying hard like, who will be for me, yeah? I be looking in the sea, yeah. I be thinking hard like, who will it be, yeah? Who will it be, yeah? Looking in the sea, yeah. I be praying hard like, who will be for me, yeah? Jesus save her, cause she wanna be saved. You didn't pass through the struggle, you don't wanna be slave. But I'm free now, put up the peace now. Say what I mean, and I mean what I say with my feet down. Everybody wanna be down, but nobody wanna be up and ready for the movement. I know I love, I don't believe found. Me at my lowest when I wasn't even looking. Is it cool? Listen, that's a love I wanna give all to every single person that I ever meet. They wanted to get lost in the melody. Love is not a felony. This message will probably change when I reach 11. No such thing. So much time I won't have what's left behind. But with morals and etiquette, I'm praying on that lucky young lady that I settle with, and that'll be a special gift. I be looking in the sea, yeah. I be thinking hard like, who will it be, yeah? Who will it be, yeah? Looking in the sea, yeah. I be praying hard like, who will be for me, yeah? I be looking in the sea, yeah. I be thinking hard like, who will it be, yeah? Who will it be, yeah? Looking in the sea, yeah. I be praying hard like, who will be for me, yeah?
Time's hard and it got me thinking harder. Young Simba as I'm looking in the water. I see son of a king, got me looking like my father. Looking out for Nala, coming back with nada. They say that it's not a problem. You gotta pray for it, wait for it. God's timing coming late for me, and love setting this flame for me. So forget the sea, I check the lake, homie. They ain't salty there, and that's strange to me. But the shallow water's looking great to me. I throw the bait and they chase to me. Now look at her, she's a catch, but they ain't tell you there's a catch. They look good taking pics, but after that you throw them back. So I'm still looking for a match. At the same time, still burning. Ain't perfect, but I'm learning. That big catch, you gotta earn it. So I'm searching to the person, start emerging. I'm still working. If I get bored while looking to the sea, then I'm surfing.
Ain't gonna be desperate, though nonetheless it's a process I've been patient with. I don't wanna mess this opportunity that God gave me. I've been blessed with the gift to be a role model. I'm investing my soul into this, I didn't roll into this. I was doing this long with control on the kids. I was one myself and they looked up to me. I'm standing back, hope through my own company. And now the mission seem harder, don't mind that. It's smarter, put the time in the dollars at $1,000,000 an hour like skirt. And I'm not gonna fail nor give it all up. Let me see you hell.
Podcast. I am Hawk, in case you didn't know. And to my right, we have Bel, a.k.a. Bel for President, a.k.a. Belafonte, a.k.a. Lady Bel. Don, she remembered that. So she left a comment on my Instagram a while ago, and she was like, go ahead, Lady Bel. I was like, where'd she get that from? And then I remember our very first episode, that's what you was going by for a little bit, Lady Bel. So.
Well, that's what I had said.
Yeah, so shout out to Don for that.
To laugh at me.
Yo, she remembered that. That's really dope of you. I'm sorry, we're not gonna go over the Facebook comments of your first dates and all that because I can't. Y'all know how Facebook is. If you post so many things, it loses track. So I'm gonna try to go off memory before we discuss all that. But in this particular segment, we're gonna listen to stories. Again, this is a story. Me and Bel are hearing this for the very first time. We're gonna leave the mics on and we're gonna play this back, and this should be interesting. This is Chris' story about his first bad internet date.
All right, so this is a crazy story when I was younger, roughly around the age of 16. And at that time, we had the internet, but we didn't use the internet to meet other people. So we used to use chat lines to meet females, so, we can go out, have dates, and, just kind of build a relationship. So we used the chat line, and we met two females that lived close in the neighborhood. And me and the guys, we thought to go over there in a pretty big mass to see if we can get a date or perhaps get lucky. So it's about maybe 10 boys at these two girls' houses, and we're just having fun. We're dancing, we're running around, we're eating all the snacks out of the icebox. I mean, we're just going crazy over there.
Icebox.
And it got real late. And by this time, their father pulled up. Now, at this point moment, they only had one door that worked. So none of us could get out the door. So the thing we did was everyone hid. Like their daughter, the two girls just panicked. So we all hid in the closet, and I think about maybe 4 other boys hid under the bed. So in all, it was 10 boys in the house, and it was 2 Latino girls. So the father gets off, he's all tired, and he comes in the house. So one of the things the 2 girls did was they stripped down to their drawers and they closed the room door. You're not going to come in the room while your daughters is getting dressed.
Oh my
But
goodness.
the issue here was that there's 10 boys hiding in this house. There's 10 boys hiding in this room. And I'm not going to lie to you, we're all hiding, we're all terrified, and some of us is musty, yes. So the dad comes, he knocks on the door, he's like, are y'all okay? They say, yeah, but, the father felt something, like something wasn't right. He could look in his daughter's eyes and he knew something was wrong. He didn't even notice how bad the house was tore up. He just knew something was definitely off. So he forces himself in the room, and he's looking around, he's like, it smells musty in here, and the daughters are terrified. You can hear them kind of whine a little bit. And at this point moment, we who are in the closet, we are starting to tremble. And he looks around, and he opens up the closet door where we're hiding at. So at this point moment, I'm not gonna lie, I start to urinate on myself. I am so terrified. I have never been this terrified in my whole entire life. And all the boys we're all just kind of shaking. So when you're scared like this, logic's not really kicking in. When you're scared, you do things that you most likely wouldn't do, you were thinking. So my idea was, just close the door. Maybe he'll walk away. Maybe he'll just, he'll just vanish. So I politely closed the door in his face. I mean, he opened the closet door. I politely closed it back, So at this point moment, it gets real quiet, and he rips the closet door off, and everyone just loses their stuff. We're just terrified, and he's going crazy. He's yelling, he's screaming. So the boy beside me, we're all hugging each other. We're hugging each other, and I'm not gonna lie, the bottom of their closet is soaked. That's how terrified I was. And the little boy beside me, he asked the guy, "Are you going to kill us?" And he walks out. And we didn't run. We couldn't run because we didn't know where he was going. Now, in my opinion, I thought he was going to get a gun, but I didn't want to run, and I'd run directly into him. So we all just kind of sit there hugging. Now, don't forget, there's still about 4 to 5 boys also hiding under the bed. So he comes back in, he's speaking in Spanish, he's screaming, he's cussing. I mean, I knew the cuss words. And I guess he had a change of heart, and he told us to get out of his house, leave right now. So me and the boys in the closet, we start to walk out, but the other boys who was under the bed, he didn't know about them at first. So once they noticed that we were walking out, they tried to sneak out at the same time. Now, I was really, really fast. So I ran out the house. I was halfway down the road by this time. And once he found out that there was also boys hiding under the bed, I could hear him screaming from down the road in the house. It was just insane. And I have never really been that scared in my life. That was something that I will always remember. And I can say one thing. We didn't go back to their house. We did not go back to their house. Never again. You know, we just left them alone. I was just happy that we was able to leave and keep our life. But that was one of the dating stories that I went on when I was younger.
All right. Chris, that was a great story.
Wow.
Yo,
I'm impressed. He's still living.
It's so much to unpack. It's so like So he did say that he was 16, right? Yeah, he was 16, and so I can only imagine. One, let's say that he exaggerated how many boys was there, but the fact that it was a lot of boys there and 2 girls all met on the internet. What were they planning on doing?
The girls?
Yeah. You invited all these men?
They probably thought they were gonna get their choosing their pick of the litter. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's not like, you know,
their options open.
I'm not trying to be crass, but it's not like they was planning on running a train or anything, because none of these men knew each other. So it's like that obviously.
I'm thinking maybe the girls thought they were going to get their pick of the litter, or maybe somebody didn't show up or whatever not. But probably it was that they were wanting their options to be open.
Yeah. And I, you know, and Chris, you know, and Chris, because I know him personally. He's not the type of dude that goes around like that, you know. I know he probably probably had fun, depending on the kind of conversation. As you said, as we heard, he ate all the food in the icebox. Chris, I know you was raised by some old people. Nobody call refrigerators iceboxes anymore, dude. But he ate all the food, and so for him, because he mentioned that, I felt like that was like the emphasis, and that's what he enjoyed. So I can see that, and he comes from a world. Again, based on personal knowledge, he comes from a world where it is male dominated in terms of the gaming and all that. So I can legit see him having fun in that environment. Now, me on the other hand, I walk into a house and it's majority of men and only 2 females. I'm not staying. That's weird. I actually had a situation like that. I met a girl at the club. She invited me to her house. Like a week later, I went up there and she had a bunch of random dudes in her house. None of them were family members, and she was like,
Just
"Yeah." Random, obviously.
I mean, because I've been in a group setting with like 15 of us, and maybe 6 of us maybe are females, the rest are guys. But that's when we were at, you know, like at Cherry Point or whatever. So that's understandable, just because of the dynamics of the area, that you're not going to have as many females.
But you had 5 of your friends with you.
Yeah, well, we all knew each other, all of us, males, females, because we used to all go dancing together.
I was by myself.
We weren't strangers.
I didn't know anybody, and I just met this young lady. So it's like, she told me to sit on the couch, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't know. She knew all the dudes.
Sit on the couch, take a number.
Yeah. That's how I felt. That's exactly how I felt. So I stayed like maybe 30 minutes. Her son was downstairs. It was his birthday. I got him a little gift, and then I broke out, and I never talked to her again, because actually happened to me twice, and it might be because of the military situation.
How would you just stay there?
I was curious. Like, I was wondering, like, is this the audacity of her? Like, did she think her pimp hand was so strong that she can keep all of us? Like, psychologically speaking, I wanted to figure the situation out.
Well, she's a good planner, or organizer anyway, because she organized to have y'all in the same room and keep y'all there.
Yeah. Now, I seen her a couple weeks later, and she chased me down and was trying to get my attention. Maybe I read the situation wrong, but it didn't feel right, and so I broke out. And when I was in Jacksonville, same thing happened. This one girl, she'd been pushing up on me forever and a day, and she stayed in some projects called Sandy Run. Everybody who's from Jacksonville, North Carolina knows these projects. And we had went there at the time I used to smoke weed, and I went to go get a drop. And I was walking by an apartment, and her door just so happened to be open. I looked, and I see her hugging and kissing some dude. I didn't care. I didn't even find the girl attractive. It was just something funny to be around. And she had called me minutes after. She didn't see me, but she was, "Hey, what are you doing? You want to come by?" Blah blah blah. She didn't know I was already at the building, literally downstairs. So I was like, "Nah, I'm good. We don't da da da." So that was that. But yeah, Chris, fantastic story.
Awesome story.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
And the brother said he was peeing on him.
Yeah, he left him.
And he has the nerve to be offended that other dudes in there was musty. Dude, you smell like piss. So yeah, and Chris ain't no small dude. Chris like 6'2", 6'3", But
well, I mean, he wouldn't have been that tall at 16.
No, yeah. You're
right. Probably close to it, but not necessarily. 16.
And you're 16 against a grown man whose two daughters is half naked.
That dude was probably dying laughing when he stepped out, and that's probably why he had a change of heart.
Yeah.
To let you guys go.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what he did to those other dudes when he saw.
Trying to sneak that way.
Because first of all, there's a smell in the room.
Yeah.
There's dudes in the closet. Now there's dudes in there in the bed.
Yeah.
Y'all aren't properly dressed.
Yeah. That's the part that's unpacking. Like, so that as a dad, my whole house now is becoming suspect. Now I'm opening every door. I'm kicking down books.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I was trying to think, because I don't want to tell a long story. Do you have not an internet, but just a bad dating story?
I don't know if it would really technically be a dating story, but I know when we first met and
oh my goodness, how did I skip that?
Like legit, we just met. Y'all came to the home. Shout out to Vic.
Shout out to Vic.
And we hung out. We played cards. We drank a little bit. We were just chill, hanging out. And I guess my roommate failed to let Vic know that somebody else was involved in the picture.
Yo. So
involved that he actually had stuff in the house, in the apartment.
Yeah, he was living there.
Yeah. So, old boy comes after the club, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, banging the door down, talking about, I know there's some dudes in there. Let me in. I want to get my PlayStation.
Ladies and gentlemen, he was the big bad wolf. He was huffing and puffing, and he didn't just do it for a few minutes.
Oh no.
The whole night. The
police had to come. I don't know if you remember, we had called the police. The police had to come. They had to mitigate the situation and allow him to come in and get his items. And after that, he had to leave. But he came back, I think like 6-7 o'clock in the morning with his cousins and stuff, trying to get into the house again.
Yeah, he was weakened. Now, what I was doing, what me and Vic was doing, meanwhile, because of course we're in separate bedrooms, and I'm talking to Bel, Vic is talking to the roommate, and we're hearing this dude knock, and he's knocking for hours. And so me and Vic is coming up with a game plan, like, all right, we can go out and we can assault this dude and we can handle business. But fortunately,
you were plotting. You remember you were plotting to hit him with your cast?
No, I didn't.
We could take care of the situation right now.
I didn't have a cast on at that time.
Well, I know you had broke your wrist.
I had broken my wrist. I didn't get it.
Yet.
I didn't get it fixed. So you had took some tape and you wrapped my wrist up.
Oh, that's what I did.
Yeah, and so I was like, because I really wasn't in condition to be punching anyone, but I was like, I don't really see a way out of this. And the dude started trying to break in by using a credit card. We can hear him scratch.
Yes, he was banging on that door. He was kicking the door. He was doing everything to that door. He would not go away.
And so Vic and I was like, well, I guess we're gonna have to take.
And
care
I guess
of it.
I was just more pissed that we were in this situation, and It was her fault. It was her fault. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you're trying to have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, buddy.
She saw Vic and just lost her mind.
Now, and so I was about to say, I can't blame her all the way because she didn't know that she was gonna meet such a charming young man, and that we like.
I mean, but then how are y'all supposed to see us the first day we meet?
Yeah, I was nuts.
I'm surprised y'all didn't bail.
We should have.
Right at that moment.
We should have. That was, but because we come from, in terms of, we was in the Marine Corps at the time. We've been in some really weird situations.
I like the drama. I think that's what it was.
Maybe there might be some it got the blood going.
That hype.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that actually probably that was my. I didn't even think about that. I'm thinking about some old.
That was the first time that we ever met.
On the very first time, sure it was. We had some, and at that time I didn't know if the dude was there for her or for you. Like, all I know is that dude really wanted to come in, and then when the police brought him in and he had a PlayStation in his clothes and all that. Like, oh, wait a minute, this dude lives here. He's part of this situation. So yeah.
No, she was playing it real dumb. She had no idea he was just stalking her and blah blah blah.
Hey.
And then to make it worse, the plot thickens. He was paying a portion of the apartment.
Bro, you put everything out there.
Because I didn't even know that either, and I was actually staying there.
Yeah. So that was all.
So I mean, dude was all in his right. I actually felt bad. If I ever saw dude again, I'd apologize because I had no idea.
So, what's the worst way, or what has been one of the worst come-ons? I'm asking you that in terms of, like, in your experience in dealing with us as men. If you haven't experienced a bad time or a bad approach, maybe your friends told you men have done this. I can tell you what I've done. Very embarrassing on my part, but like I said, no excuse. It was very embarrassing. We went to Bike Week in Myrtle Beach, and that's just a different environment. So
I've heard.
It is, and instead of me talking to women, I would slap them on the butt to get their attention.
I think you and everybody else that was there.
But the girls responded, and they would come back when I did that. And so,
well, I think most females that go out there know that they're going to get groped in some way, shape, or fashion.
Yeah.
Because that's the just the rapport that environment has. And okay, so that doesn't justify getting groped.
No, not at all.
But knowing that this is the environment you're going to go into, and on top of that, wearing almost next to nothing.
Right.
What do you think you're calling?
Yeah. And that's what it was, an invitation in that environment.
You're calling no lawyer to come and help you, or no doctor to help you out, or
Now,
hitched.
What's kind of unfair about that statement is that it is the beach, and I should have self-control just like every man that was there. But there was definitely way more men. There were females there.
Are G-strings allowed on the beach?
At that time, no. Even though they still did it.
Because I know thongs. There's a regulation on thongs. I remember at that time.
The way you got around that is it was really dumb. Women, they will wear that. They'll wear a G-string or a thong, but they have to have something over it. So what they did is they had like the net stocking sheer. You could see through it, but you had to have like a pretend cover to cover it up. But you weren't allowed to just have your cheeks out, because we saw females get arrested for that. Well, they get arrested. They got tickets for doing that, especially if you was riding on the back of the bike. The police was pulling them over and writing them up. So yeah, it was they was trying to regulate that. And when I think about rape culture, because that seems to be like the conversation now, because of Bill Cosby and all these other different people, it's not right. And like I said, I put myself out there because there are environments where this is very dominant. Even in the clubs now, I never did it in the club to a female that I didn't know. And the females that I did know, and if I slapped them on the butt or whatnot, if they were uncomfortable, I didn't know. And it's like when I replay it, well, would you let on that you're uncomfortable if you're like only 1 or 2 deep and you're surrounded by a bunch of, like, you could be very uncomfortable, but showing that weakness, you probably didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? So you'll smile, oh, that's funny, just to get out of the situation. I kind of feel like, have you ever been in that where you know, something happened and you felt uncomfortable, but you couldn't let on that you was uncomfortable?
I've always been very vocal.
Okay.
About being uncomfortable. I was very quick to want to fight or do something, so I wasn't the most quiet person. I generally wasn't by myself ever. Either.
Yeah.
Because of that. I actually didn't like that negative attention, so much so that I took out my piercings because of the reactions I was getting.
Yeah.
Because you could see them through my shirt. So I wasn't too fond of that kind of environment, and I tried my best not to put myself in such a position. Because I was more impulsive, as you've experienced.
Right.
Like with the bottles off the table, or where I told old boy I didn't know what he was thinking just because he was a frat boy, that
he pulled his pants down
and stuff. So I wasn't too pleased with those situations, and I was very verbal about it.
There was a friend of mine in Cali. Shout out to Wendy Vaughn. I got permission from her to share this story, so she said it was okay. I don't know like the complete backstory, but they were at a swap meet, her and her sister, and a guy approached Wendy to get her phone number. And Wendy is a very she's that female that's like very pleasant. Like she won't intentionally offend you. She's just not built that way. So I could see her like playing it off smooth, like no, and maybe she won't even say no, maybe not right now, or something to that extent. And once she pretty much said he wasn't going to get the phone number, she turned to walk away from him, and he geared up and punched her in the back. And for not giving, and now I imagine she said swap meet, so we're in LA. The biggest swap meet out there at the time that I remember was the Slauson swap meet. So I'm pretty sure that was the place that they were at.
I mean, I've been in similar situations. A person didn't actually punch me, but where they really thought they were going to get the number. You tell them no, you diss them or whatever, or, send them on their way. Yeah. And they'll turn around and be like, you weren't that cute anyway, or whatever. Right. Or whatever.
Men do that. Now, I've never done that. I think that's just corny. Just because you don't want me, I'm not going to insult you. Maybe I have when I was drunk. Actually, I have. I did.
I was about to say.
Oh, yes, I did. Shout out to TJ. I'm not going to tell that story, but, and it wasn't, she didn't deny me. She denied my homeboy, and I saw it. So I decided to be vocal about it.
You weren't that cute anyway.
So
you nothing but a thought.
Yeah, well, that thoughts wasn't that word back then, but yeah, we use it. So I don't know what makes men feel comfortable enough. Maybe this is being just chauvinistic.
I think personally, it's not being comfortable. It's the insecurity factor. Okay. Because if someone rejects me, like, all right, peace, holla. I'm going to the next individual. If I was just that confident in myself, right, in taking such an approach, yeah. But when you're not confident and a person rejects you, says no. First of all, nobody likes to be rejected. Right. So it takes a bigger person to accept that, take it in stride, keep moving, and second of all, it is the mature thing to do. But as we all know, that's not necessarily the reality for each individual. They're just not there maturity wise anyways. But lost my train of thought.
Well, there are certain females that encourage certain types of behavior. I'm gonna give you an example, and it messes up for literally all the other females. I was in high school playing basketball during lunchtime, and there was a young lady now, and she's pretty, in our community, she's pretty famous. She might be nationally acclaimed now. She's a big time stripper. Her name is Nikki, and she's known to date, I think, Jason Harden, basketball player and things like that. When she went to our high school her freshman year, so she could have been no more than 14 years old at this time. We were playing basketball. She used to wear really tight and revealing clothing. She was very, very thick. at that age. Like, she was built like a grown woman. She walked past the basketball courts. There's about 30 dudes out there. The ones that's playing basketball and dudes on the sideline. She was by herself wearing, like I said, a very short, revealing skirt, not stilettos, but really high heels and a tight shirt. She walks by, the game stopped playing, the guy stood up on the side. The playground, she shut it down, and she knew she did because she smiled and looked back, and she had to walk all the way across the court.
A situation like that is embarrassing if you're not the type of person that thrives off of that energy.
I know it is.
That's embarrassing.
But for her, like I said, she thrived off that energy because I've heard conversations she's had in my English class, and when she did that, like I said, psychologically, I was evaluating the situation. I was part of the dudes. I was looking also, but when I look back on it, and I'm like, and she's, like I said, she's a stripper now. It's kind of like, well, that kind of makes sense. You always kind of been in that realm. Yeah. I can only imagine.
She was probably on her way to work, and you didn't even know.
No. But for all the other women that, it's okay to be oogled and want it to be desired. I'm sure you want me to look at you that way when you walk past me, but it's different when you have.
Oh, definitely. I mean, even back then, what female does not want to be validated that she's pretty, that she looks good, that she's enticing, that somebody finds her desirable?
Right.
That doesn't necessarily mean that you want to be groped or
that's
approached directly to be told, hey, your boobs look delicious or something or whatever. You might not want that.
Right.
But the look or the wink or the smile is enough to keep you validated and keep you feeling good.
And so that's why I was segueing to. So if females do feel like it's cool to be validated and it's cool to be looked at in a way that's desirable, and you're catching the attention of men, because it's okay to be pretty. There's nothing wrong with that. Men feel like that. Men want to be felt like they have the biggest penises in the world, and they're the only ones that you've ever had sex with.
Well, for men, it revolves around their penis.
Yeah. As
far as their performance in the bedroom somehow equates their performance in life.
Don't judge me.
So that's, I think, a little different, because I don't think a female validates her performance in the bedroom to equate her life purpose.
Right.
Or validate her in any other way.
Well, what I was going to say, though, is what is too far then? If I genuinely feel like, boom, you are beautiful to me, your body, blah, 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 but I don't know you, is it my...
well, I would think that you want to get closer to the person, but just when you see a value in something, it's not just, oh, I just want to get it and be gone.
Right.
You're going to be a lot more gentler and a lot more delicate. You're probably going to be a little bit more persistent than the next guy that's just coming around for a moment.
Right.
Because you're looking for something for the longer haul. Not to say for life, but you're looking for something more than just for tonight.
Right.
You know, you're not just a fling I'm interested in. No, I've seen you around the way. I've seen how you move, and I'm really feeling it.
The analogy that I use, when I see a pretty flower, there's a lot of pretty flowers in the world, and I'll stop and I'll smell, but I'll keep moving. But when I see a flower that it's unique and it's just like, I gotta have this flower, I'm gonna pluck that flower and I'm gonna put that flower in my own garden, and I'm gonna nurture that flower until it becomes whatever it is that it becomes, because I enjoy that flower so much. When I met you, it was on that same note where I thought you was beautiful, I thought you was gorgeous, but I didn't want to stop there on the physical aspect. I felt like you had qualities about you that were not yet explored, and I wanted to see if I wanted to see if I was right about that. And I chose to wanting to invest myself and my time to see if those qualities can come about. So I think if a man truly was about his business and being interested, he would do that. But like I said, we're some younger men. I can't say about older men. I don't have any experience in that. You probably could speak to this. We have very weird and immature ways in terms of we approach women. One thing that I know we do is we talked about the death stare. We will stare you like a predator coming across from one corner to another. We will not stop looking. And like I said, if you give any inclination, if you stare at me back, if you blink in my direction, I'm coming to get you. Because I feel like I'm going to interpret that you're interested.
Well, I mean, you guys are natural hunters.
Yeah.
Or predators, I would say.
Oh, not predators.
I mean, that is definitely the look that y'all give. Like,
yeah, buddy.
I'm about to feast tonight.
Yeah. What are one of the things that makes you uncomfortable that the way men approach? Maybe not you, like I said, but one of the things that we have done that you like, oh man, you could change that type of behavior. What can we clean up in order to be approached?
I'm not a fan of flashy.
Okay.
I love to know that a person is stable. And they're confident in themselves, not in their materials. If that makes sense.
But what if it's
like when a person starts talking about all the things that they have, or my clothes, or you see them constantly adjusting their jewelry or this or that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of displacing the value.
Okay. So the way we sometimes will look at a woman's body, a man will put out his jewelry or his car.
No, when they're approaching a female.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And so we're putting the value in the wrong thing, and so we're we're peacocking, and it doesn't.
Yeah, it's like, come on, don't you want to come ride in this nice whip or
well, don't you?
Situation? No, not necessarily, because you might have a Jag, but I might have a Mercedes.
Right.
You know, so that's not always the situation. I think younger females are easier, more easily influenced in that respect.
Right.
Gold diggers, because that's what they're looking for, those materialistic type things. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking for a better or a greater investment, that's not something that's really gonna make you go crazy. At least it never was for me. Now another thing too, sports, being athletic, that's very eye-catching for a female generally, or just actually being good at something, having a talent.
So now you're talking about things that will actually catch your attention now. Like,
well, because if you're athletic, I'm going to see that on your body.
Right.
Before you even speak to me.
Right.
I'm going to see there's some kind of definition somewhere.
Right.
I'm going to see something about it. You know, if you're, let's say, a gamer, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be at a club. You're going to be in a game situation. So I'm going to find you, or I'm going to see you in this setting, in this environment. And there might be something about that situation that, you know, that might draw me in.
So you're long story short, it just kind of feels like you're just saying, just be yourself, and the women that are attracted to you are attracted to you based on those mutual interests and whatnot. I don't have to do 100 push-ups necessarily to find my wife, because the push-ups is not what's going to keep you around me. It's what we share and what we have in common. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the most challenging part, and because that involves patience. Because for every woman that I come across, if I was to approach him, how do I know that this woman enjoys books? For me, how do I know this woman enjoys literature, or goes to church, or we share the same denominator? Like, there's so many factors that you gotta eliminate and come through. And now, at speaking out loud, I can see.
And this is where I would say, you know, the physical attraction does come first,
right?
Because you don't know that individual,
right?
So what are you drawn to?
Right.
Well, from what you're seeing, maybe they have a talent, maybe they don't. I don't know. They could be the one riding the bench or passing out the water bottles, but you don't know all of that stuff when you first look at a person. So I would say generally the chemistry has to be physical in some way, shape, or fashion. And then maybe that's the first 30 seconds there. Okay, so how then are they going to sustain that attention? I'm talking about the females being sustained by the guy. Tell them a joke. Get them to laughing.
Yes,
that definitely
sir.
makes the difference.
Yeah.
You know.
Let me throw you off with this joke. With the chicken saving across the road.
I mean, and you know, you can probably tell a lot chicken across the road about an individual and their jokes and kind of mentally where they're at a little bit.
That's true.
Because if you're sitting here telling me this vulgar joke and I'm like, oh, you got something on your mind that I'm not too interested in, versus talking about the chicken crossing the road, you know, I might look at you differently if you told me a joke like that.
Now that is actually pretty interesting in terms of, psychologically speaking, yeah, like I can communicate. Men, we communicate so much. It's kind of like playing poker. It's not just about what's in your hand. It's about what you're demonstrating. It's little subtle cues about what it is.
It's generally subtle cues, yes.
Now, I wanted to go back in terms of being single. And, you know, I'm in my 30s, and it becomes a little more difficult, I guess, for people in my age group to date because you feel like you've seen a lot. If not, you've seen everything, every type of dude, and you've been around. And if you've been dating and you feel like you've been wasting your time because there's certain things that pop up, I feel like there's still hope, but you gotta kind of have to be open-minded towards getting out of your own way. And there's some aspects, because you being married, you have to understand and like, yo, there's something I just gonna have to accept about. There's some things I like, and there's some things that I don't like, and things that I don't like. This is it all. It's not like you can categorize the individual, say this is this person and this is this person, because it all is just one big mesh of what.
I think it's generally what you're willing to settle with. Is this something you want to wake up to every day? For some people, it's okay. For other people, it's not.
How do we, off first impressions or even second impressions, how do we get a good lead on it? And that's what I was saying. So, okay, a guy is not allowed to whistle at you to get your attention. Automatically, that's communicating something different to you, even though it might be Hope Mills Road and I can't cross the road, so I need to somehow stop you from moving. So I'm gonna whistle so you stop until I can catch up to you.
What about AO or skill? Something.
A lot of women they're offended when men do that. They don't yell at me.
Excuse me, ma'am, hello.
So if you were walking down the street and a guy was like, "Hey yo," woo woo,
it's happened many times to me.
Would you stop and encourage that?
I would stop and kind of look at them crazy, wondering why they're trying to get my attention. Yeah. But it could be something so simple like I left my cup on top of the car.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not apprehensive initially, but I am concerned that you're stopping me a certain way.
Okay. But
it's not going to stop me from stopping.
So that follow-up conversation better be real strong once he gets your attention.
For real. For real.
You better have a plan and a half.
And I've done that. And I know folks are like, I'm just trying to let you know you're pretty.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, because it's happened to me. Like, I've gone to the post office to get the mail, and a guy just, you know, of course, that prey stare.
Right.
And stuff. I'm like, if this dude does not stop, because I can see out my peripheral.
Yeah.
Staring at me. I'm like, he is all in my face. You know, and I turn around with my mean mug.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, you're very, very pretty. Well, actually, he was signaling for me to put my window down.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how bad can it be? He's in his car, I'm in my car.
So you're semi-safe.
You know? So, he told me that. He's like, I just wanted you to know you're very, very pretty and stuff. So I've had people pay for my drink in front of in the drive-thru. Yeah. In front of me or whatever.
Yeah, and I think
it'll relay that message through the person.
And those type of things work, and there's no signal of malfeasance. You know, I kind of feel like what you're communicating, and it's been effective for me. Once you have her attention, have a plan. Don't freestyle it, because when you freestyle it, you're gonna come off sounding probably ignorant, immature. It does. If you're not a naturally charismatic individual, if you can't just come up with conversation on the spot, and I think a lot of times as men, our egos won't allow us to recognize some of our faults in that way, because we all don't have a silver tongue.
Or if you're just around that person and that person takes your breath away,
admit that.
So
be transparent.
Yeah, you know, write them a letter.
Yeah. But what if I don't know where you live at? Can't write you a letter if I see you at school or on the street.
Well, generally, people are drawn to individuals within their area, circle, or
gotcha.
People that they're more in contact with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
As far as maybe crossing paths, not even that necessarily they speak or engage in the same situation, scenario, or work environment, but they cross paths more than one time.
Is it wrong for females to shoot their shot? How does it, like, I have experience, but it was in different environments. For when women, like, what's the difference between men and women in that first impression and how they approach men? Like, what makes us so wrong in the way we approach, and y'all don't have a wrong way of approaching? I've literally never heard a dude like, yeah, she came at me all wrong. I've never in my life experienced that, ever. I'm talking about me and none of my homies. Like, if a female come up to you,
y'all have never had a conversation like, man, this chick tried to talk with me and stuff, and she was just all wrong in the mouth, or her hair was falling out, her weave was old, or nothing like that. And y'all sit there and start clowning on females.
Yes, that has happened, but that's her. It's not like I never felt threatened, intimidated, or anything like that. Now, I've came across some very aggressive women that I was not attracted to, and they kept pressing me, but it's like I never felt threatened. You know what I mean? Like, if you come like that, then I'm gonna come like that also, and we're gonna go our own separate ways. But I guess maybe that's the difference in our culture, where I don't have to feel threatened. Now, as a woman in an environment with a gang of men, y'all don't have the privilege to feel like I feel. It's kind of, analogy wise, it's kind of like being black in America, where there's certain things that white men can get away with and feel comfortable because most of the time you're in your environment where. So
you're gonna tell me all those times that you've gotten free meals in the evenings when you've gone on your little truck driver escapades or whatever, and chicks are sitting there winking at you or whatever, slipping you free food and joking with you or shaking their hips in an extra way that you so notice and call them out on it.
What about it?
That's not coming at you?
Yeah, but like I said, but I don't feel a type of way about it. Like, I've never been offended by a way of females approach me. I've never been offended. I've been mad probably a few times because, like I said, I've came across some very aggressive women. One woman, and
I think that's probably maybe the bigger key, the aggression that you come with.
It's all about that energy.
And I think that makes a difference with females too.
It's about that.
You got an aggressive dude come up here, grab you by your neck or something. Oh, you gonna talk to me? Yeah. Wasn't it you that you said one of your guys in the club did that? He grabbed a girl, like by the arm or something.
I'm not going. I'll tell him myself. I'm not going. That may have happened. A time or two. Yeah, but like I said, it kind of depends on the environment and what's allowed. We've never participated in any type of rapey type deals.
No, I'm talking about in the club scenario. Yeah. Like, you're coming home with me.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
And then dude was.
Yeah, I've done that.
They slapped the hand off or something. Pulled a Melania Trump.
No. I told you that happened to me. A girl was dancing. Yeah, a girl was dancing with another dude, and as I was walking by her, she grabbed my arm to get my attention. And I snatched my arm away. I'm like, yo, how are you trying to get my attention? You got your booty in this dude's
She was trying to get at you, so you were offended.
I actually was offended.
So she was trying to catch.
Belle, come on now. You got your booty in the dude's crotch, and you trying to get my attention. Like, that's not. I think anybody.
She was trying to get at you.
No, I mean that. Actually, I was offended by that. That was crazy. Cause I don't know this dude. That's how dudes get killed. See, we're not talking. I'm offended because we're not talking about. Like I said, the way she approached me. If she wasn't dancing with dudes, she grabbed me, I wouldn't have reacted the way I did. But we're in a club. I don't know this guy. We're in the hood. Like, no, man, I don't even know you. And then you're not cute, so you're not worth me getting shot.
Oh, it all boils down to not being cute.
It kind of does.
See what I'm talking about? That's what I was saying. The physical, your nails, your hair, your whatever. Are you put together? See? It boils down to the physical aspect. Oh no, her skirt ain't short enough. Her boobies ain't flopping out yet, so.
No, it's not about the body, but yeah, you do. You gotta make me think about, are you worth the risk? And she was not worth the risk. It was immediately apparent, and it was like, you got the audacity. You just pointed something out to me. I apologize. Women, in this episode, I'm looking crazy, but I don't care. Like I said, just kind of learn from my experience and from the insight from. And I'm very mild compared to a lot of other guys that, not just in my circle, but people that are known and the way that we approach and things like that. And like I said, I think that the proper way to approach women is to authentically be yourself, and you don't have to go and search and do anything extra if she's for you.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Nah.
If you're in a club, buy her a drink. Can I have a little conversation?
Well, we're not promoting alcohol and drinking and things that.
If you're at Starbucks, offer her to get her a drink.
Right on.
At Starbucks, she might not want the unicorn drink. She might want a macchiato, something like that. But I mean, there's many different scenarios that you could be in. To get a person's attention, and I think offering to pay for something gets a person's attention. I don't care what situation you're in. You could be at Walmart and they're buying a loaf of bread and you're like, can I get that for you? Whatever it is. Can I help you with your groceries? Something like that. Carry them to your car.
Yeah. Be a gentleman.
Just that gentleman kind of create that ambiance.
Yeah.
That'll get her attention. I'm not gonna say it's gonna sustain it now, because she might not be looking for a gentleman, but it'll get her attention.
In other words,
and it will cause her to think.
Don't create a hostile environment where she feels defensive. Mm-hmm. So yelling at you from across the street, I'm sure that will make you. And so the whole block now is turning around looking at you like, man, who do yelling at? It doesn't create something that's very comfortable for the everyday woman. The redeeming factor in this whole conversation, there's one thing outside. There's something that you kind of enlightened me, that we can come when we approach you. We got to create a better environment so that you don't have to feel like I got to protect myself.
Shout out to Sue. It's that is testosterone.
She did say that today. Yeah. And that's not, some men can't help that part in terms of that aggression. But if you make us aware of our approach, we can definitely adjust and change and change that. So that actually did help me today. The way it may not be that I'm being aggressive, but if I'm speaking in a particular way, especially if I'm addressing someone that's not
very
used to
dominating.
I gotta switch up on that. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes to feel like they're being backed in a corner. Not even men. When you're talking to other men, you can't communicate like that. And speaking of communication, there was a scripture that dealt directly with the context was in terms of evangelism and in terms of maintaining your personal relationships, but I kind of feel like it can apply to anything. Where I'm paraphrasing the scripture in the book of Colossians, it essentially said, let your speech always be seasoned with grace. And what that essentially meant is that salt is used as a reference all throughout the Bible, and I accidentally did some research on salt. Back in the Old Testament, they used to put salt on the sacrifices before they burnt it up to God as a flavor, aroma, blah, 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 things of that nature. And so our speech is a sacrifice. It's a representation of what comes out of our heart. And so if we're not careful about what comes out of our mouth and what comes out of our heart, not only do we can come off as offensive, the thing that we're offering to that person, which is the way we communicate, can be rejected. Same thing in our prayer life, the fruit of our lips, blah, 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 blah. So when we approach women, especially as Christian men, I feel like we have to change the way we approach and remember the scripture that we're not of the world. So we're not going to physically, we're all going to be attracted to that initially, but we have to come and bring a game plan where it's like, well, let me show you a representation of what I can become and approach you like I will. Hopefully someone will approach my mom or somebody who will approach my sister. I don't want anybody yelling at my sister from across the street, and I don't want anybody approaching my mom any old kind of way. I'll be actually really, I was in that environment. I've seen men, because my mom back in the day was seen to be very attractive, and men weren't blatant, But as me being a young man, I saw certain things and intent behind it, and it made me very uncomfortable. So I never want to put another woman in that type of situation. So there is biblical principles behind that. Nothing? You good?
I'm good.
All right. We actually had another subject to talk about, but I feel like, we had a full conversation. The ins and outs were personal anecdotes and whatnot. There was one more story I wanted to share. It wasn't about me. It was actually about you.
About me?
Yeah, I wasn't there in this situation. And I wonder if you weren't married, if this was something that would have caught your attention. At FTCC, you're walking. Hey, you're pretty. Bong. You said the dude ran into a pole because he was looking at you so hard.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. His homies were clowning him for real.
What the hell caught your attention, though?
I wasn't drawn to him in any kind of way, but that was hilarious.
It created
I would have just asked, if he would have came to me, I would have just wanted to know who his name is, just before the fact that he took one on the pole.
Took one for the team, yo. You sacrificed your life.
Yeah. And I wasn't expecting that. I was just walking out of the building out of class, but he really did. He ran into a pole.
And I mean, sometimes when you
I was married then.
Yeah, you were.
When that happened, huh?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I think that's what made it even funnier. The fact that I had no intentions or no inklings. He wasn't even on my radar.
And if I could be honest, man, sometimes y'all women, y'all don't do this, but men come out of character when we're around you all because we so desperately want your attention and your approval and your love. We want everything about you that we do things that, just like Chris, logic is thrown out the way. So just like, as he said, the dad opened the door and he closed it, even though he's looking directly at that. Sometimes we do and we say things that, even though we know it might make you upset or angry, we're not thinking about that part. It's just something that's short-circuited in our reasoning, and we just do dumb things.
I mean, that situation totally threw me off because, one, I'm married.
Yeah.
And then two, that...
Just because you're married don't mean you stop being attractive.
Well, but you stop thinking about that. You don't necessarily think about that all the time.
Yeah.
When you're married, you're more on the mindset of my married responsibilities and obligations to the household.
Yeah.
So when something like that does happen, especially being such a younger guy, he didn't know I was in my 30s. He was probably barely 20, and so it was just made me chuckle as a validation, I guess. I guess I still got something that draws people.
Yeah.
Didn't know what that was. I was all covered up. It's not like I was flashing anything, but it's nice. Makes you chuckle.
Deonica, who goes to our church, shout out to D. She said, if a dude really wants my attention, he'll put knees to chest. And it's a military term, meaning you're going to run across the street and you're going to approach me with sensibility, and you'll get my attention that way. And so in all my travels and all the travels of my homies, we've learned that what you articulate in this episode, if we approach you in a way that you feel safe and you don't have to feel defensive, it provides for an easy conversation. And my practical advice, again, using the biblical terms, be choosy in the way that you communicate. It's okay to put a filter on because you are not that you're trying to impress, but you're trying to show her who you are. And if you're trying to be flashy or presenting a false narrative of yourself, it's going to be apparent and it's going to show, and you're going to have problems really in the future because you've shown her something that it's not authentic and not,
Well, I mean, you can't keep that curtain up too long.
No.
They say, I don't remember who said it, but after 3 months is that all the curtains start coming down. You really start seeing the person for who they really are.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could be, some people can hold that curtain up for just a little bit longer, but it won't last forever. Women,
I'm sorry on behalf of all men if you've ever been disrespected. For all the women that I have disrespected, I apologize. I didn't know any better. Once I learned better, though, that's how I got married, because I had to do better. I had to try something different. didn't want to be a Mac daddy. I just wanted a wife.
You just wanted a wife.
That's all.
For real.
Yeah. That's all.
That's why it took you so long.
It took a while. I didn't say that wasn't immediate. You know, I had to learn some things, but thank God for the road less traveled. Amen. One day we do got to talk about that in terms. I think we had made plans to talk about sex histories and does that matter and things of that nature. I don't know. That might be too sensitive, huh? Do sex histories matter?
Sex history?
Yeah, like the person's background and who they've been with. It definitely counts.
It does matter.
It counts on me.
Now,
With that body count.
I wouldn't definitely give a count.
Why not, Bel?
Or a checklist or anything of, look, these have been my previous partners or whatever.
Why not? I had this question.
Why not? Because that affects dudes psychologically. Because like you said, every male wants to believe that his wife is his own and only has been his own.
Absolutely. 100%.
So, I mean,
100%.
if it's just one person prior, that's not cool for y'all.
Well, I'm not going to speak for every man in that regards, but like I'm saying that like kind of out of jest. I'm very aware that we all have a past, and if I'm doing it, women can do it also in terms of sleeping with different people. So,
and that's another thing too. It takes a very special person to be able to accept those kind of things and move on from that.
Yeah. And
not hold it over the individual.
Yeah. That is for me. That didn't come overnight. A lot of my thinking changed once I became saved, because it's kind of like Apostle Paul. I'm paraphrasing. He articulated, such as some are you. When you want to go judge somebody and the things that they do, whether you're a thief or fornicator or things like that, like, yo, I was just like that person. I did that. And so why not think, well, my wife is an individual also. She's going to have a past. She's going to do things. So it helped me appreciate and sit back and like, well, I don't have too much to say, to the point where I don't even ask the question anymore, because if God has forgiven me and if my slate is clean, same can be done for her. However, we're trying to get to know each other. Give up them digits, homie. What's that number like? All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Make sure to hit the like button. What you were laughing about?
What if I hand you a blank card?
You said the blood washed it. The blood prevails. The blood prevails.
No.
Like you did in the olden days. Again, if you like our channel, if you like the conversation, if you enjoy the podcast, subscribe to it. Leave us comments as you have been doing. Again, I don't appreciate any of you all who said that y'all don't like listening to me or Bel. I don't care about you neither. Of course, I'm joking. Shout out to you, Tiff. She's the one that told me that. Shout out to all of our supporters that are constantly tuning in. Vernice, Vicky, Jennifer. These are people that I interviewed and things like that. So we don't have a lot of followers. However, I can tell that the conversations that we're having, we're making impact, because we're talking about real things and things that people can identify and associate with. And plus, I believe Bel and I, we have the ministry of transparency. We're gonna bring it. You're gonna get the real from us. And like I said, for me, whether I look crazy or not, it is what it is.
No shame on your part
at all.
I know. Your buddies from the Barretts can attest to that.
That is another story for another day. We love y'all. Appreciate you. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, this is a journey into sound. The fattest, funkiest tunes in town.
Now, here comes the music.
You got a beat for me?
Money coming, money go, yeah. People coming, people go. If you sneaking on the low, yeah, I can't rock with you no more. Money coming, money go, yeah. People coming, people go. I swear I need something more, yeah. So I can't rock with you no more.
So many bad habits that I got to leave. House full of mouths that I got to feed. Quite a few places I opt to be, and that many more faces trying not to see I'm good. Gave too many chances, y'all playing. Focus on advancement, y'all stand. Bottom to the top, I'm all in. Cut the check, I'm ready to cash out. Pay you right out my life and mash out. They don't know what that narrow path bout. Alternate detour took all of that route. Dreams that you sold won't do for me. Never do what I do for myself. With friends like you, I need more foes. Y'all tapping out like Morse code. Only for the benefits, elevator limitless. Mansion in the sky, please show me where the kitchen is. Birds don't fly around here, where the pigeon is. Oh, so gone, won't change for the dividends. Whip it, microwave it till it's working. They intimidated by the standards. We all cool and don't forget your manners. Cause all my homies keep on with the hammers.
People come and people go.
They do.
If you sneaking on the low, yeah, I can't rock with you no more. Money come and money go, yeah. People come and people go. I swear I need something more, yeah. So I can't rock with you no more. Money coming,
all this money I didn't waste it, ain't got nothing on the time. I've been patient, no excuses, trying to perfect my grind. All I studied was the real. Now the fakes point they self out. Don't need favors or handouts. No, you can't even help out. Keep your dime piece and your fine freaks. I got a whole 100. I ain't full stunning. Keep an anvil and some dynamite for them coyotes that be road running. I speak a different language, this a foreign culture. This why most I'm just ignoring. Popping bottles, I'ma keep on pouring. Game of life, I'ma keep on scoring. Santa Claus ain't coming down my chimney. Fire burning, promoting Olympics. The road that I took was paved with your intentions, and all I kill is crickets, no chimney. Tomorrow ain't promised, you can't borrow my feelings. So deaf ears, your complaints will fall on
money
like
come and money go, yeah. People come and people go. If you sneaking on the low, yeah, I can't rock with you no more. Money come and money go, yeah. People come and people go. I swear I need something more, yeah. So I can't rock with you no more.
I don't know what you want from me, but I got what you need. I don't know what you want from me, but I got what you need. It's gotta be, it's gotta be, it's gotta be, gotta be more than this. Cause I can't take no more of what the world's feeding me. Tell me, is it worth it? Am I worth it? Do I got a purpose? A little purpose? I just gotta know. I gotta know. Do I got a purpose? What was I made for? Why am I here? I feel like every night I'm filling this pillow with tears dripping down my face. Yeah, I got a home, but still feeling out of place. I ain't never had no place. I'm dinner without a plate. Inadequate. Maybe I should take this blade in Connecticut. So if it connects to this flesh, then I cut. The demons in my ear yelling, telling me I suck. My homies telling me to man up. Life's tough and anchor sinking, but I'm with it in handcuffs. I'm drowning. But nobody can see it like a living human being. But yet they call it a fetus. I'm steady being defeated. But they just wanna focus on my bad grades. But Weezy told me get that money, flip the mad page. And 2 Chainz threw away that school thing. I can do the same, but whip around in a new range. It's all the same. Get the money and blow it. Whether education did it or pitching up on the corner. Strike 3, tell me what I'm living for. Money, power, respect, women, and getting the drawers. Impressing people that'll never wanna get involved. In my life, they just showing love. What is love? Then my heart sinks. Then my heart speaks and says, gotta be more than this. Cause I can't take no more of what the world's feeding me. Tell me, is it worth it? Am I worth it? Do I got a purpose? A little purpose? I just gotta know. I gotta know. Go. Do I be like, go shorty, shorty, go shorty, shorty, go. Dollars flipping as I'm dripping down the stripper pole. All they see is a body, they don't see a soul. And put me on social media to get some views. Here's a couple of likes, throw a couple of tweets. Cop a bottle of Moscato just to get in my sheets. 3 shots of a macchiato gonna keep me from sleep. Cause all I dream about are my mistakes and repeat. Are you dealing with rape? Do you struggle with sex? I've been living cause the both of them are giving me stress. I got character flaws, opposite of the best. Dudes tell me that they care as they stare at my chest. People tell me I be open, need to cover my breast. People tell me I provoke them with the way that I dress. People tell me just get over it and get out your mess. Then they quiet down when they see I'm messing with death. Need a second to breathe, I've been ready to leave. Family don't really care, they ain't ready to grieve. Ready to bleed, who ready to bleed for me, huh? Deep in the sea, I'm choking to breathe, giving up. Impressing people that'll never wanna get involved. In my life, they just showing love. But what is love? Then my heart sinks, then my heart speaks and says gotta be more than this. Cause I can't take no more of what the world's feeding me. Tell me, is it worth it? Am I worth it? Do I got a purpose? A little purpose? I just gotta know. I gotta know. Do I have a purpose? Sunrise. As light swiftly spills, trickling into your window, with the subtle yet majestic luminance into the very depths of your soul. Darkness exits as I enter. I'm the person you've been looking for. No, I'm the purpose you've been looking for. No, I'm the person with the purpose you've been looking for. And you've searched high and low, getting high and low, like where am I to go? Counselors tell you what's in your mind, but no, the way that I designed you to be mine, I know you're broken. I'm the only one that can fix you, cause if you could fix you, it would've fixed you. Liquor and drugs, they will only addict you. The enemy lies, he will only convict you. Enter my love and I will never evict you. My son is the door, Holy Spirit will lift you. Give me your worries and cares, I'll get them resolved. Fear, misery, tears, it'll dissolve. Aches, pains, even your flaws, I'll give you my all. Impressing people that'll never wanna get involved. In your life, they just showing love, but I am love. And my love sings, and when I sing, I say so much, so much, so much more than this. And I can't take no more of what I've seen in thee. You asked, are you worth it? I die for you because of your purpose. You're so worth it, let me show you your purpose. Show your purpose, your purpose. Whoa. The Father has a kingdom for you. His name is Jealous. He burns with desire for you, like a snowflake that falls from the sky. No one is the same as the other. So when the Father says that he loves all his children, there is one place in his heart that has your name written on it. And it grieves him when you don't feel it. Seek him, and you'll find him.
Yeah. One time. Yeah.
This ain't what it is, or how he made you. They say made lemonade with what he gave you. This ain't how it's supposed to be.
Ain't how it's supposed to be.
Or how he came through. They say make lemonade with what he gave you. Oh,
I got some resentment against close friends. Some things that they did to me, gotta forgive. We clashed and left me broken like 4 ribs. And that's why I wrote this, hoping that those heal. Sometimes I feel hopeless, homie, that's for real. My daydream about suicide seems so real. I daydream about newer lives like hotels, doing shows and newer rides, it's so swell. You probably judging like dudes so materialistic, probably the side effects of all this imperialism. I'm just feeling my pain, hope you hear when you listen, and look past all my flaws, cause it's real when I'm spitting. My wife's sickly, I'm just trying to provide for her illness, so she can stay at home and rest, give her body resilience. I'm trying to focus on staying alive for my children. I'm still praying, know that God will provide for his children. Let's get it.
What it is, or how he made you. They say made lemonade with what he gave you. This ain't how it's supposed to be, or how he came through. They say make lemonade with what he gave you. Oh, oh.
I know you hear me crying out. I put my business in the street so you can find out that God puts us in the heat for a time out. Cause we all got wrinkles we need to iron out. Some of y'all got problems that's worse than mine. Got you feeling like you living in the worst of times. I'm dealing with this pain and hurt of mine. Looking for a word but I don't even read his word at times. They gon' call that a bad Christian, yeah. Or maybe not a Christian at all. Think we perfect and we should never mention the fall. When we hurtin', it's only because sin is involved. Crazy. They call us faithless cause we ask questions. I thought asking got us answers, it's up for discussion. The things we go through, utterly disgusting. But God gon' see us through, we just gotta trust Him.
Or how he made you. They say made lemonade with what he gave you. This ain't how it's supposed to be, or how he came through. They say make lemonade,
yeah,
with what he gave you. Oh, oh.
So one time for King Jesus. I'm so thankful that he leads us. Beside still waters, though my knees bleeding, I'm still praying, still believing. I'm thankful for my health, I'm thankful for my family, I'm thankful that we eatin', I'm thankful for dependence, I'm thankful for forgiveness of my sinfulness, we be heathens, yeah. I guess in short, I give you praise. Somebody need to retweet this, yeah. Cause complaining is for the birds, but in thankfulness we see freedom, We need him, I know in hardship, that's why it brings weeping, yeah. When we weaken, joy comes in the morning when we seek him, yeah.
Or how he made you. They say made lemonade with what he gave you. This ain't how it's supposed to be, or how he came through. They say make lemonade with what he gave you. This ain't what it is, or how he made you. They say make lemonade with what he gave you. This ain't how it's supposed to be, or how he came through. They say make lemonade with what he gave you. Oh, oh. Say